Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint webinar featuring a session about marketing to the members. My name is Bruce Clapp, and I'm the Chief Marketing and Sales Officer for EPL. Just wanted to do a quick welcome to everyone that's on the line today and let you know we'll get started here in about 15 or 20 seconds. Thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, this is Bruce Clapp, and I'm the Chief Marketing and Sales Officer for EPL. I want to thank you for joining us for the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint webinar featuring marketing to members as our topic today, communicating the process and the value. We have special guests with us today, Josh Hilgers, the President of HPA, our partner and insurance liaison and national expert is on the line listening in, so he'll be able to address any technical questions we have. And then also Robin Kovic from EPL is on the line today as well. And we have several of our other key specialists, Allison Holmes and others, that are joining us today. And today's session is being recorded, so if you have any questions or if you'd like to share this session with other staff members at your credit union, you can visit creditunionexchangeblueprint.com after today's session, and the session will be posted on webinar link for active viewing and sharing with others at your credit union. A couple of housekeeping items as we get started today. Our session is exactly 60 minutes in duration. We'll have lots of opportunities for us to interact and answer questions and the like. And to post a question live during the session, you can use the question function on your toolbar on the right-hand side of your screen. You can post a question to any of our panelists, and we can answer the question live in real time. We may infuse those answers throughout our session today, and we certainly will have a dedicated question and answer time at the end of our session to make sure that each and every one of your questions are addressed. Obviously, if you're like me, the most valuable sessions are one that I can take nuggets of gold back from my particular credit union and have questions that I came to the session asked and answered. So please feel free to use that function today as we get started. So again, thank you for joining us today, and today's topic is about marketing to members. And obviously there has been a tremendous amount of information about the Affordable Care Act and all of the things associated with it. If you watch the nightly news or read the newspaper, you may be just as confused as your member. And that's why EPL has taken a giant step forward in creating a process, the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint, for your credit union to become not only a bit more engaged, a bit more involved, but to provide that expert resource to your members. Now, for all this to happen, we have to create and communicate this opportunity to our members, and that's the sole function of today's webinar. So let's talk a little bit as we start today about what the opportunity scale begins to look like. As we have discussions, and if you've attended any of the previous webinars, more about the seismic changes really that are happening in the insurance industry that went into place starting October 1st when people could start working with exchanges and will continue through the open enrollment period. And I'm sure everyone has read the well-documented challenges with the public exchanges. But for you and for your credit union, the opportunity scale is pretty large. Every one of the groups listed here, the active employees of large group coverage, active employees of small group coverages, typically ones that are 50 and under, retirees, ineligible part-time workers that might have no insurance or their own insurance that may become eligible for insurance if they work full-time hours, and then as well as chambers and associations and other groups here. This is really where the opportunity really lies, and certainly the independent consumers are one that are out in the greater marketplace. It may even be some of your members. So we're talking nationally about 145 million people are going to be changing or have begun the process of changing how they acquire insurance. So once you become involved in the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint, you have to figure out how can we start communicating to our members that we have this service, we have the expertise available to them, and we have a solution to meet their needs. And probably most importantly, we can provide that hand-holding that your members are going to need because they have questions. They have multitudes of questions. And prior to today, or prior to the change with the Affordable Care Act, a lot of those questions, they could simply go to their HR manager at their employer. Now, if their employer group has decided to not offer insurance or to provide the opportunity for people to go to private exchanges and get insurance on their own, there's really not that resource. So your credit union can become that resource, or better said, can provide that resource. I'm sure sitting in your seat and sitting in your boardrooms, one of the last things that your credit union wanted to become was health insurance experts. Well, really through the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint, what we provide is that access to those experts so you and your credit union can simply be the beneficiaries of expertise that's delivered to your members and to your employer groups to take care of and take advantage of the opportunities that are in the marketplace. So as the opportunity begins to grow, and begins to become scalable for you, your credit union has the opportunity to become that community hub. And again, at our end of our session today, we're going to have walked through how do you become that community hub. What are the marketing strategies that we've identified that are going to be key to you as a credit union marketer or credit union executive, and what are the key messages and needs of your members and your employer groups. So at the end of our session today, you should be well positioned to become that community hub for the following types of groups. Certainly your members, but also your potential members. This opens up a wide opportunity for you to become a community hub not only for your existing credit union members, but for potential members in your marketplace, because I can assure you there's probably going to be very few outlets outside of your credit union that they can go to that's going to offer the expertise, the availability, and the ease of access that you will be able to provide by having the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint. But one of the most powerful aspects and why this is such a natural fit for credit unions is the employer groups. If your credit union was or is select employee group based, you already have some strong relationships with businesses around your community, and you can be that natural outlet and that natural resource for expertise when it comes to health insurance through the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint to your employer groups. And it's an excellent calling card to potential employer groups, and which obviously then yields potential members to you as well. So significant opportunity here for your credit union to grow if that is your desire, or certainly provide a valuable service to your existing members that is available to you really only through the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint. So today's session really is helping you to mobilize what that opportunity begins to look like. It's about moving from potential opportunity to realized gain. It's about moving from information in a book to information that your member begins to have access to. It's about communicating to your member that you have a new valuable service that they can latch into and benefit from, not only from potential cost savings, but also from potential health insurance opportunities that they may or may not have had access to prior to you being the conduit to those unique opportunities. So let's talk a little bit about what are the strategies that we have identified at EPL that are going to help you to drive success. A lot of these have been put in place already with some of the credit unions that are the charter members of the exchange, and we've already had multiple successful sales at some of our credit unions in the Southeast, and so we feel very comfortable and confident that these 5 strategies will, at the end of the day, yield success for you, but more importantly, put you in that position to seamlessly integrate the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint as simply another product or service into your quiver of offerings that you can offer to your members. I'm sure one of the last things you're looking for is just another thing to do. One of the powers of this entire process, it is very user-friendly. It is very much a turnkey solution, and you'll see that we have a lot of materials that are basically ready to go if you'd like, or can be simply modified to some of your brand positioning to get you off the shelf and into your members' hands very quickly through this process. So let's talk about the 5 strategies to drive success. We believe strategy number 1 is ensuring staff engagement. This is something new, not only something new for your members, but most importantly, it's something new for your staff. And if we are asking our credit union to engage our members, our staff members, which is where that engagement is going to happen, have to be informed, be insightful, and comfortable and confident in the information. So we believe the first marketing strategy is ensuring staff engagement. The second one is the entire process of creating that member awareness. And how do we go about doing that? What are some tools and techniques that can help facilitate that for your credit union in a way that matches up and seamlessly fits into your marketing strategies today? Marketing strategy number 3 for success with the Exchange Blueprint, which is really an insurance marketplace, not only for health insurance, but property and casualty and automotive insurance and homeowners insurance, and really even a cross-selling tool for other credit union services, which we'll talk a little bit later down the road. But strategy number 3 is generating member understanding and ensuring that you have engagement with those members. It's one thing to offer a new product or service. You've probably added some of those in the past where there wasn't quite as much engagement or adoption from your members that you would have liked. And when you do some post-operative understanding of that, it might have been that you didn't communicate long enough, deep enough, broadly enough, or as many a times as it takes for people to really gain an understanding. And this is something that's going to be very important for you to know. I'm sure you understand it on the surface level, but because this process is really new for everyone, your staff members and your members, generating that member engagement is going to be very, very important, so that you can be that insurance experts and offer that portal where they can shop for insurance, they can get their questions answered, they can speak to one of the live agents and really have that white glove treatment of making sure that all of their questions are answered and they have an ability to really share and compare what services are available to them. So strategy number 4 is then communicating to those employer groups and the support that you have available to them and that you can provide not only for their employees but for their company in general. It's a clear value-added service that your credit union can offer to your employer groups. And last but not least is deepening that marketplace awareness and making sure that your marketplace in general, to again position you as that community hub, is aware of what you have to offer as a credit union, and they know how to get it, they know what you have available to you, and they know the clear points of differentiation that this offers to you and the clear benefits to them as individuals in the marketplace. So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about strategy number 1, which is ensuring staff engagement. Well, we all know that we have clear connecting points to our members, and that's our staff. And probably most importantly, it's the member contact staff, your tellers, your member service representatives, your new account representatives, etc. Those are the ones that are going to be able to carry forward the message and carry back questions that members have about this process. So we have to get them on the same track and make sure that everyone understands what their role and responsibility is, because members are going to become knocking on the door with questions, especially once you start promoting that you have this service available and you want your staff to be the recipient of that inquiry and get it in the right hands, whether it's someone in the management staff of the credit union or you direct them straight to the contact center that's available to you through the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint. So how do we do that and what kind of tools are available to you? Well, it's all about communication. And one of the things that we know about communication is it takes 2 endpoints. One person willing and able to hear a message and one person willing and able to convey the message. So both those things really take insight and knowledge and understanding. So we are the ones who are going to provide that insight, that understanding, and the knowledge to you and to your staff. Everything from initial training of kind of train the trainer and management staff and the frontline staff to talking points, specific things that your members may ask, specific understandings we want your staff members to have, specific management points we want your management team to understand. So as they're coaching the staff, they can do that. And then, of course, we'll help with understanding of those roles and responsibilities. And as questions come in, what's an appropriate question for me to try to answer? What's an appropriate question for me to capture and make sure that my member understands where to go? And then where do I direct them? So all of those understanding the roles and responsibilities is going to be part of the connection team and the implementation team for the Exchange Blueprint for your credit union. And certainly last but not least are the actual materials and the understandings, the frequently asked questions and the internal memos and those kinds of things that we can help craft, that we can give you samples of, we can give you internal emails, We can give you PowerPoints for background information. All of those things come with your participation in the Exchange Blueprint. And then, of course, as the dynamic nature of the Affordable Care Act continues to unfold and roll out, we're going to provide updates on the progress, not only of the legislative happenings, but what are some best practices that we're seeing around the country that your individual credit union can benefit from. So again, some available tools that are going to make all these things happen is your implementation team. From the very moment you say, yes, we would like to offer the Exchange Blueprint, the insurance marketplace to our members, you're assigned an implementation team that helps with the marketing strategies, the communication strategies, setting up your web portal, all the things to make sure that you become that central resource, that community hub for your credit unions and for your potential members in the marketplace. We're going to share a best practice communication plan that kind of outlines timelines and milestones and individual activities and best practice methods of communicating with internal staff, with members, and the marketplace, kind of three important stakeholder groups for your success. Going to provide some PowerPoint training that's going to give you the background on what is the Affordable Care Act and what's changing for our members and why is this important, and then why would a member be interested in the Exchange Blueprint. And then what's the member impact? What do they need to do? And how can we save them money? And what do these things really mean to us as a credit union, to our individual members? Of course, there's going to be some additional frequently asked questions. Those FAQ documents are very, very important for understanding and be able to kind of arm our staff for understanding both internal conversations and then external conversations with members and then wherever they may be, whether it's a Chamber of Commerce meeting or a PTO club meeting or whatever it may be. We want them to have some basic understanding of what we're offering and the benefits there to the member. And of course, we have experts available and background data that are always there for you, not only on the CreditUnionExchangeBlueprint.com website. There's a host of information that's there, but also you can talk to live experts, either through the call center or through EPL or HPA, to make sure that you have the answers you need to the questions that you're undoubtedly hearing and the questions that you and your staff and your management team may have as well. So here's a first example of some of the training materials. This is some of the sample questions and answers. And if you can see it, it might look a little small on your screen, but these are best practice question and answers. And we present those in a couple different formats. One is, what's the member perspective? What questions might my member have? And what questions might my credit union staff have? What questions, as us at a credit union, what kind of things should we be asking? We also address them from an employer group perspective. What kind of questions might they ask? Because the bottom line is we want to make sure that you are in the best position possible to be successful. So you're looking at materials right now that are what we call a color block scheme. You can see this particular credit union's colors are more kind of a maroon and a gold. So if yours happen to be blue and orange, or yellow and green, whatever they may be, we can easily kind of adapt that color scheme and then, of course, add your logo and your customization down at the bottom to make these materials very own for your credit union. So just some examples of some of the training materials that are available to you as part of the process when you become a customer or really a member of the Exchange Blueprint. So as we move to strategy number 2, just want to remind you, you have the ability on your right-hand side of your toolbar to pose a question, and we will have a couple as we go throughout our session that I'm holding off on now, and we'll get to those. And of course, at the end of our session, we'll have an opportunity for a question and answer period as well. So let's talk about strategy number 2, which is probably one of the most important ones we're going to spend a lot of time on, and that's actually creating that member awareness. And when you think about your membership, whether you have a 5,000 member credit union, a 15,000 member credit union, or a 50,000 member credit union, they probably each have the same types of questions. As a matter of fact, your members have questions today that they may be asking a friend or a relative, or they might have previously asked their human resource area, and now they don't really know to turn. So now, once you start promoting that you have the Exchange Blueprint and you can be that one-stop resource for your members, they're going to come to you because these questions are out there. So we need to communicate clearly that we are ready, we can be the resource that they need, and we certainly have already have their trust. And remember, nationally, there's going to be well over 145 million people that are going to be changing how they're purchasing insurance. Some of them are being mandated that way by their employer. Some are opting that way because it's the best financial position for them to be in. So no matter what scenario your members are in, they're going to have questions and they need a resource, and you can provide that resource locally for your marketplace. So one of the things that we know that's very important is that you kind of have a roadmap to really, from the time that you sign on, become a member of the Exchange Blueprint for your credit union, to the moment that that first member signs up and purchases their insurance through the exchange. You want to have the resources available to you to understand exactly what's the best practices, what things should we be thinking about. So we provide those step-by-step planning guidelines and timelines that are ready to customize for you. We may offer some suggestions that you do some point-of-sale materials or statement inserts, and some of those things may or may not fit to how you normally do your business. So we'll customize that approach just for you, but nonetheless, you have a step-by-step planning guideline that we'll provide to you that talks about all the things you need to do prior to launch, things that you need to do at the launch, and then really for the next 3 months after launch to make sure that you are well prepared, that you're communicating properly to your members, and you're creating a level of awareness that you want. So two things happen. One, and most importantly, is your members have a known resource where they can get their questions answered. And number two, your credit union can be that resource, and you can generate incremental revenue for you, and at the same time providing a solution that your members desperately want and desperately need. So what are some of the available tools that come with your process when you become a member, whether it's a charter member or an ongoing member of the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint? We have all kinds of tools, and remember, because EPL is a credit union-owned service organization, we're a QSO, we work every single day with credit unions. So we know exactly what kind of things and issues and concerns you have. We know what kind of materials work. So we're just simply helping provide some of those tools. So we have created and crafted email messages that you can use internally, email messages that you can share with your staff, email that they can communicate to members, and email messages you can broadcast to all of your members to communicate that you have the exchange, what the benefits are to your members, and how they can access the exchange right through your website. We have in-office posters. We have direct mail letters that can inform the members. We have direct mail letters that can inform employers and employer groups, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We have postcards, point-of-sale materials. We have staff stickers. We have T-shirt designs. All of these materials are already designed in kind of two different looks, and we'll talk about that in a second, plus many, many more things. So we have really taken the effort to really make this very turnkey for you to make sure that you have all the necessary things to really plug this into how you, at your credit union, choose to communicate to your members. So here's an example of some of the marketing toolbox items, and this is kind of design number 2. We have two different designs, and one that you're looking at right now is one that's pretty much branded for the Blueprint Exchange. Easy for me to say, right? There's postcards, there's staff buttons, there's banners, all these materials, there's window clings, all these things are ready to go for you, and they're kind of already branded, so you can kind of take the Nike approach to already have an established brand in the marketplace and simply share that brand that's tied to what your credit union logo is in your name. So there's an example of what some of the marketing materials look like right now. And here's option number 2. Again, I showed this to you already. This is the credit union, or what we call the color block. And the color block is available as the blocks of color can be very easily changed to mirror image what your color scheme is at your credit union. And then, of course, the last option is if you want to have total custom materials that are fully branded to follow your swoops of your brand design, etc., we can certainly do those for an additional cost. And we have designers on staff that can handle those for you as well. So each of these things are ready-made for you in option 1 or option 2, and then again, if you want to have custom materials, those are available for you too. So hopefully you begin to see that this is really a turnkey solution that has everything ready to go, and you can kind of pick and choose things from the menu, if you will, of ways that you want to communicate with your members and ways that you know have worked for you in the past of communicating with your members. So we've engaged our staff. We've started creating that member awareness. And what do we need to really do next? Well, we have to create that member understanding and engagement. It's one thing for them to really understand or to get the point that you have this credit union exchange blueprint. But we want them to understand what that means to them and that you are a center of expertise and that community hub for your members. That we can provide education, assistance, and support for questions they have, whether it is for health insurance, which is probably top of mind for most of your members, but also other insurance. Whether or not you offer other insurance, you can now through the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint. And if you currently offer insurance, we can simply make this another aspect for people to, another access point, if you will, for them to be able to get information about your insurance offerings. But all of these are an important piece. We can educate and assist and support your members. When it gets down to the individual member, we have to help them understand what the personal impact is. Our experts at the call center can help them understand what is the difference between maybe policy A and policy B if they're looking at two different ones. What are some questions I need to look at? What are some things I have to think about for my own personal being? And whether or not I can qualify for some of the subsidies and other aspects of the law. That's where that personal impact really starts hitting home, and that's where we can be the greatest benefit to that individual member. We can also help the employer and the business understand what their options are as a company and then what their options are they can offer to their employees. We can be that conduit for your employer groups and businesses in your community. And when I say we, I'm talking about you, the credit union. You can become that conduit and provide a solution for those businesses that you deal with today through select employee groups or tomorrow through new relationships that you're building. And of course, all of this is wrapped in the knowledge that expert assistance is available to you as the credit union executives and the credit union staff. If you need more training, more information, it's certainly available to you at a moment's notice. But then again, we have a call center that is manned and licensed in all 50 states that is available and will answer the phone with your credit union name ready to go and help your members individually and provide that expert assistance that your members are looking for. And last but not least, one of the key understandings that member engagement is really helping them understand what the differences are of what's available and from what resources, what policies are available. Should I go to a private exchange, a public exchange, and then certainly what's the benefit of our private exchange. All of those things can be made available to you as a credit union in ways that you can really help your member understand the real value proposition that you're offering. And don't get lost that all of these things are provided to you as part of your process, and most importantly, almost every single one of these things will help to generate revenue for your credit union. So it's one of those rare win-win-wins. You get to provide some increased knowledge and training for your staff. You get to engage and delight your members, and you get to generate revenue for your credit union as well. All things very important for the health of the cooperative. So one of the things that as we begin to create that understanding and that member engagement is really making sure that, that your members understand what the opportunities are available to them, what the challenges are. And your members are reading things every day. They're hearing things on the radio. I'm sure they're probably dialing into Clark Howard. So they're hearing things like the glitches with the Affordable Care Act and certainly the well-documented now problems with the public exchanges. So one of the challenges you have is to kind of perhaps be that calming force or to just reassure your members that, you know what, that's why we created and have access to a private exchange so you, Mr. or Mrs. Member, have the best availability for you, the broadest aspects of health insurance carriers, the most available types of policies, etc. So they're going to be coming to you with questions like this and say, hey, I heard on the news last night. Well, your staff can be up to the minute with what's going on because some of the webinars that we provide, some of the information available through our website and, of course, through the implementation team. But, of course, last but not least is through the member help desk that's available through the call center. All of these things are member questions that you're going to have to be prepared to answer, and we're going to help you to do that. So literally, some people have had major problems. They're trying to get in for 36 hours. They can't. The website's down. And I think you've all seen the challenges with the public exchanges. I can tell you we have not had those experienced those problems on the private exchange. The exchange is up. It's going. It's ready for our members. And it has performed very well. and you can feel comfortable and confident that the solution you're providing to your members is above and beyond going to match up with the kind of member service that you are accustomed to delivering every single day. Now, some of the things your members may ask too is, okay, what is this exchange blueprint, and why is that different than what I'm hearing about on the national news, and what am I hearing from my employer? Well, private exchanges will complement the public exchanges. As a matter of fact, our private exchange does have available all of the federal programs that are available to anybody else. So your members really have the best of all worlds by coming to a private exchange. They have the broadest array of options to select from, not only for health insurance, but for automobile insurance and homeowners insurance and any other types of insurance that your credit union elects to offer to your members. Each of those things are going to be available to your members, offering them a broader array and a deeper option level than they're going to be able to get from anywhere else. So your members are hearing things like, okay, well, what's my employer going to say about this, and why would they opt for this? And well, obviously employers need a private exchange, and a private exchange meets the employer needs by offering a couple things. And this is where we're going to start getting into, you can offer the exchange blueprint to your employer groups, and we're going to talk a little bit about how do I go about doing this. And this is a true value add for you. You could knock on the door of one of your select employee groups and say, Mr. Clapp, we know that you are a small business owner. You have maybe 100 employees or 42 employees or 8 employees, and you're facing health insurance questions and issues. We can help you resolve those. So we can help you to attract and retain those good employees by still providing a method to offer benefits, and we can do that right through the credit union. So you can help your employer groups really provide needs, provide their employee needs, and then of course your individual members. You can help them make the most of their money. You can help them with that very easy and very informative shopping experience. And again, you can connect them directly to the experts that can help them address the questions that they have really probably no other resource to have these questions asked and certainly not answered. So the private exchange that's available through the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint, and those are really one and the same, is something that's going to be a true benefit to you and to your members. So what's the benefit here for the employer groups that we're going to talk to, and what's the benefit to the members? Well, on the left-hand side of the chart is kind of where there's consumers in the marketplace at the bottom, there's employers at the top, and your members might be parts of some of both groups. Well, employers, wow, they're saying, help me continue offering benefits. I really need to do it because I need to attract and retain quality employees. My employees kind of expect this from me. I've always provided benefits. I really want to continue to make this happen. Well, your members are saying, you know what, I really want to maybe take some control on for myself, and I want to have some choices. But you know what, those are great things, but without insight, without help, and without knowledge, and someone guiding me through the process, I don't even know where to begin. So that's where the Exchange Blueprint really comes in, and that's where we can be the conduit to insurance brokers and the health plan. That's what we provide. We are the ones that can distill all that information and make it very, very easy for your members to have access to plans and opportunities for insurance, again, whether it's health insurance or property and casualty or any other types of insurance your credit you may elect to offer to your members that can be provided through the Blueprint. So let me stop there for a moment and address our first question. The first question comes from Mary, and Mary says, this sounds great. How is the implementation team connecting to our credit union? Well, Mary, that's a great question, and it's very simply done. The implementation team will reach out to your credit union and establish a kickoff meeting. And the kickoff meeting, it kind of assembles what your timeline is, what your desire for the marketing materials is, whether you want to use our ready-to-go branded materials, you want to kind of customize them a little bit, or do you want to have your own full-blown customer fully branded materials. It's going to help us understand a little bit about what kind of training requirements you're going to need, how many staff members you have, how do you want to do the training. So this whole kickoff meeting will really kind of set the stage for the process, and that's where the implementation team really kind of stands shoulder to shoulder to you and provides the resource and the knowledge to be able to get this off the ground and to be able to integrate it into what you do on an everyday basis. So this simply becomes just like offering a mortgage loan or a home equity loan or a checking account to your members. You can also offer insurance, and that's hopefully how easy this becomes for you. and the implementation team will guide you through that entire process from start to finish. So Mary, hope that answers your question. All right. Well, one of the things that we know credit unions have today, and this was a study that was done on a national basis by Prudential, that 79% of employees view their employers as trustworthy. So, you know what, I have questions. I'm going to go to my HR department, I'm going to go to my manager, I'm going to go to some executives in my company, and that's wonderful. And certainly that's a very powerful thing for employer groups. But what's even more powerful, you as a credit union, is that 79% is second only to credit unions. So people are already, 81% of employees at any company anywhere are saying, you know what, where I would really go because I can trust the knowledge I'm going to get, I can trust the answers I'm going to get, I'm going to trust that their emphasis and their focus is on the benefit to me as a member, and that's my credit union. So we're already kind of naturally positioned for people to come to us with questions, and once you implement the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint, you're going to be in a position to be able to maximize that trust and deliver the knowledge and information that your members really want to have. So again, the process is very, very easy. There's basically 4 steps and 4 parts to the process. We offer you an Exchange Blueprint portal, and that's part of the marketing process to make sure that this connects directly to your website. And you also may choose to have your own standalone URL that's available not only through your website, but as people search it, and it can be made available through your marketing materials. That's how people are going to be able to enter in and search for all the available insurance opportunities. There is a private exchange back room, a credit union exchange administrators area that provides training videos and PowerPoint materials and access to the marketing materials and all these rich source of materials that is going to help you, whether you're in marketing or administration or management at the credit union, really deliver a program that not only meets the educational needs of your staff, but the emotional needs of your member and the awareness needs that your marketplace has. Then we also provide an exchange CRM, which is tied directly to our call center, so you can see live, real-time, exactly how many members are calling, what kind of things are happening, what questions are they asking, what services are they buying, what follow-up is occurring. So all of those things are ready for you for management reporting, all available at your fingertips. Again, another part of the marketing process to make sure that your members are actually responding to your marketing messages. The only way to really know that is to track what the response rates are and how your members are utilizing the exchange. So this comes standard with your sign-up and becoming a member of the Exchange Blueprint. So as we move beyond engaging our own members and we start thinking about, okay, we've engaged our staff, we've really kind of built awareness with our members, we have an engagement of our members, are really starting understanding exactly what benefits we offer through this online insurance marketplace. Let's kind of turn our attention to our employer groups and what kind of things can we do to help them. Well, as we talked about, we already have a very natural connection, and that natural connection just gets stronger and stronger as you implement the Exchange Blueprint. Why? Because we can leverage the relationships we already have and provide a true value-added ability and a tool for the small businesses in your community to not only deal with the insurance needs their company has, but the insurance needs of their individual employees. So you're putting them in a position to be a hero to their employees, not only because they're still providing insurance somehow, some way, but they're also providing an expert source, and it's right there in their own community. So you can position your credit union as that export resource. You can knock on new businesses and have a new message to share, a new opportunity to knock on that door, and probably get new employer groups signing up to the credit union, which will certainly yield new employees and new members for the credit union. All very powerful stuff. So what are some available tools to help you get this accomplished? Well, we have employer group communications. We've crafted flyers, we've crafted PowerPoints, we've crafted direct mail pieces, we've crafted emails. All of these things are ready to go or ready to be customized to match the messaging that you'd like to have for your credit union. These things are ready to go and as part of the toolkit that you get when you become a member of the Exchange Blueprint. There's also employee communications, so not only directed to the employer about why they should be engaged with their credit union, but then materials they can pass on to their employees, so you're putting them in a power position as well. There's FAQs and insights, and then probably one of the most powerful things is you can actually provide a white label portal that if you have a larger company, they can provide their own portal to their own employees, so it is EPL Incorporated's insurance portal, and that's where all of our members or all of their employees will go to. And that feeds straight into your credit union and straight into your CRM, and it really has a unique opportunity to provide something that's an incredible value to your employer groups in a way that, again, can provide you a revenue source as well as a connecting point to local businesses that you may not previously have had a strong connection with. So the Exchange Blueprint, again, we can create a custom portal. There's the different available templates that they can choose from, so we can custom brand them to the small business in your community, and certainly you can have one custom branded, as we already talked about, for your individual credit union. So this is a very powerful way of connecting with small businesses in your community in a way that is unique, that I can almost guarantee that there's not going to be any other financial institution in your marketplace that's going to provide this level of support for small businesses in your community, so you can truly be that community hub, not only for your members, not only for your potential members, but for your current existing small employer groups and for your potential employer groups in your community. A very powerful connecting point. The last strategy is really when you start, okay, we've taken care of employer groups, we've taken care of our members, we've taken care of our staff, we've really kind of engaged, we've educated, we got all that taken place. We want to use this as a tool to create an opportunity to generate new members and be that member magnet. So how do we go about deepening that marketplace awareness? Well, this will, as we've talked about throughout the entire presentation, this will provide you an absolute unique point of differentiation that they're probably not going to be able to get anywhere else. Certainly not geared to the level of interaction, the level of support that your Credit Union Exchange Blueprint will provide, because it provides that online marketplace for them to shop and to understand what's available to them. But then there's also that call center that provides immediate personalized assistance right there on the phone, right there on the internet, however they want to have that connections. They can walk step by step, and your members and your prospective members can get taken care of in a way that really probably very few other people in your marketplace are going to be able to do. So we think this really becomes a member magnet and certainly that community resource to position your credit union as that community hub. So let's talk about, just in general, what are some of the role of the exchanges. We've talked about the 5 marketing strategies to really kind of position your credit union for success, and that is engaging your staff, making sure that you're creating awareness for your member. It's creating that member understanding and engagement. It is connecting with your employer groups, and it's deepening the marketplace awareness and the marketplace understanding. So you have all these things. Well, one of the things to kind of maybe take a half step back is understanding what are the role of your private exchange, your credit union exchange blueprint, your insurance marketplace for those individual plans. Well, again, part of this process, and again, just kind of take a quick educational step back, is making sure that you would understand that your employees, for your select employee group members, or just your members at large, they can interact with you through the website, through the ability to get quotes right there online, to be able to talk to the agents that are at the call center. All of this is going to be available to them right there, right now, as soon as you launch the Exchange Blueprint. So with that, we really think that this Exchange Blueprint offers to you a one-stop, end-to-end opportunity to provide to your members a solution that is branded for you, that's ready to be implemented virtually out of the box. It's full service and turnkey. It's filled with expertise and resources at every turn, and it's available for your individual members, your individual market prospects, and your group employers and select employee groups that are out in the marketplace. So we think it's really something that's very, very powerful for you, and hopefully we've been able to share with you not only what the strategies are for success, but how we are positioning you for success through the Exchange Blueprint. So what's the overall win? Well, if you are successful in doing all these things and you leverage the implementation team, you have successfully launched your portal, you're generating awareness through the marketing materials, you're training your staff, you're educating your members, you're being the savior to your small employee groups and your select employee groups, well, you're going to definitely increase membership. All along the way, you're going to generate incremental revenue for yourself to help provide additional revenue source to be able to do more for the cooperative nature of the credit union. And this is a very strategic product and service, because your members, and again, nationally 145 million people are going through the challenges of having their insurance change and how they acquire insurance change. So this is a very strategic product for you to be able to offer your member. And it certainly will help strengthen those member relationships because, again, you're putting yourself in the position of being an expert and providing that expertise through the Exchange Blueprint directly to your members. And last but not least, we think all of these things kind of come together to position your credit union as a community hub and one that really will allow you to be successful. So with that, before we come to a close, let's walk through some of the questions that have been posed. And Tom has asked the question, how does this work for employer groups and what kind of materials are available to them? It's a great question, Tom, and I tell you, we've created materials in two different ways. One is geared to the employer themselves about what kind of things they need to be thinking about, what kind of resources are available to them through the credit union, and then also to the employee that they can pass out to their employees that says, hey, we have this new exchange available to us as a company, and they may or may not have their own white-labeled portal that's available through you, but that way you're empowering your employer groups to really take care of this process. So we're giving you the tools, the techniques, the training, and the materials to really step out and knock on the door of new businesses and certainly take care of businesses that you have a relationship with today, even on a higher level. So that's a great question. Okay, one more question from Ann. Ann asks the question, for the community at large, if they're not a member, how can they access the Exchange Blueprint? Well, Mary, that's a great question. And obviously, the key to this whole thing is they become a member. So if you are a community charter, certainly that avails the community members the opportunity to become a member of the credit union to be able to access the Exchange Blueprint. Or if you're in select employee group based, hopefully you can find a connecting point through one of your employee groups. But the bottom line is, this is a very, very unique product. We want to be able to offer this through our credit unions, and we want you to benefit from this service. So the members in your community group or in your community should start off with becoming a member of your credit union first and foremost and enjoy those services and benefits, and then they can participate in the Exchange Blueprint, and hopefully that helps. Okay. To learn more about how the Credit Union Exchange Blueprint works or how it can benefit you and your credit union members, feel free to visit the creditunionexchangeblueprint.com website. It's a rich source of information and resources and past webinars and learning and all kinds of materials that are available to you to be able to not only educate yourself for making a decision about joining the Exchange Blueprint, but once you become a member, it's another tool to help you to engage and be successful with this whole process. So with that, I will draw to a close. And Robin, if you're on, is there anything else that you'd like to add to the benefit of the session today?
No, I do not. I just appreciate everybody attending and look forward to y'all viewing our creditunionexchangeblueprint.com information, and we'll be glad to answer and address any additional questions.
Okay, very good. And again, just a couple of housekeeping issues before we draw to a close today. You can go to the creditunionexchangeblueprint.com website, noted on the screen right now, and within the next 24 hours, today's webinar will be posted and available for sharing with other staff members that you'd like to be able to share this information with. And there's also, you can access past webinars that we've delivered that are a rich source of information. Also, there's contact information, so if you have questions or additional items you'd like to be explored for your particular credit union, or if you'd like to go ahead and sign up for the Exchange Blueprint, you can do so right on the creditunionexchangeblueprint.com website, and we look forward to the next opportunity to interact with you. And with that, we'll draw to a close. I'm going to thank everyone for participating today, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.